Hello everybody, this is the Vikstrand. Today we're going to talk about an unpopular opinion of mine. I think that The Wolfman from 2010 is a far superior movie to the movie we're going to talk about today. The original The Wolfman. Why that is the case, let's take a look at it, shall we? Because this is the original Universal monster movie from 1941 and it is called The Wolfman. Larry Talbot returns to his ancestral home in Wales. His father, John Talbot, has, this big castle there, and, he's trying to, get accustomed to his, small little village and stuff like that where he grew up in. And he meets this lady that has an antique shop that he kind of fancies, and he buys a silver cane from her, and, they're hanging out together, and they go to this a gypsy camp to get, their fortune told or something like that. But then he sees, a girl being attacked by something that looks like a wolf, and he takes his trusted silver cane and beats the ever-loving shit out of the wolf, saves the girl. But when the police arrive, they discover that there was no wolf there. It's just a man there now. And and Talbot has also been, hurt in the fight, and but the next day his wound is miraculously healed up, and this is because, he has been bitten by the Wolfman, and now he is destined to, become the Wolfman. So what's going to happen? Is he going to be able to, be saved from turning into a monster? What will happen with the woman that he fancies? And why cannot Claude Rains be the main star of this movie? Jesus fucking Christ. I will say that I'm not too familiar with Lou Chaney Jr. who plays Larry, but for some reason I really didn't like him. It is important always to like your protagonist or the person you follow around, even though he's has moral principles that do not agree with you, or if he is a douchebag or a gangster or a serial killer or whatever, you have to care about him in some case. And if you're a really good actor, you can pull that off, no biggie. But this guy, for some reason, I didn't like him. And it was so odd that Claude Rains was supposed to be his father. Claude Rains was 17 years older than he was. And there are, ways to get around this. I mean, in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Sean Connery at least had a decency of having, big owl glasses, bald white hair, and, grandpa clothes to make him seem a lot older than Harrison Ford. Why couldn't they have done that in this case? Why does they look more like brothers than father and son? I don't know. It bothers me a lot more than I would have liked to, but we have to deal with what we got. I didn't really care that much whether or not Talbot would make it out alive or not. I didn't really care about the Wolfman thing. And also, it takes pretty long time for the hairy bastard to actually, show up to wreck some shit. Another problem this movie also has is the fact that it doesn't have the atmosphere of, let's say, a Dracula or even the Mummy, actually. This movie's just kind of there. And the Wolfman looked kind of silly, and in the end, I wasn't too entertained by this. Even though this movie clocks in under 80 minutes, it's still kind of sluggish to follow, and it drags considerably. Not even Bela Lugosi, who shows up for a cup of coffee, can save things. If this movie would have been made with Claude Rains as the main star, maybe it could have worked, but now it is just a kind of forgettable monster movie. Even though it is made by Universal, and even though it has an iconic status, it is not the movie I really recommend. It is a bit boring, actually. This is not a very good movie. It's very formulaic. I give this movie 43 points. It's not a bad movie. I mean, it is iconic. It's kind of silly where it wasn't supposed to be silly. I really disliked our main character, and the rest of them was kind of bland. It was just Claude Rains who was, an anchor we could attach ourselves to, and he has very little screen time. So yeah, this is not a movie I recommend. So I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.